Hello everyone, hi. It's me again. Let me adjust Windows on the other screen a little bit. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Okay. So hey Anuj, hello. Welcome. So actually I read a little bit yesterday, or I guess today. Well, first, one thing. Let me open the window because I'm getting suffocated. It's supposed to be late fall here, but apparently still quite warm outside during the evenings. So yeah, gotta open my window, sorry. But yeah, I read yesterday and seems like oh shit. I had an issue yesterday where if I just use fork naively instead of doing fork and exec, I would get myself in a situation where tests run multiple times, and seems like now I know the reason why. Seems like it's because forked child processes were running like fork themselves because they would escape their branching condition. And so I might try to do this first. This solution where you run every individual test in a pipe is pretty cool and it works. But I don't know if I like it that much, because I would kind of want to collect test reports, and collecting test reports from this scenario will mean that I need to either pass them through shared memory, where I need to serialize and deserialize it, or I would need to, I don't know, just parse them as a string or something. I don't really want to do this. So I will maybe try to redo what I did yesterday at first. But I guess first I need to extract a bunch of code because I left a mess yesterday and it's just a bunch of copy pasta. Yeah. I hope the music is not too loud. YouTube is frozen. Are we okay? Are we good? Yeah, it seems like we're good. Nice. So how would I extract this? So this get build options, workspace, and copy options from parent. Then get import part. and then create entry point. Yeah. So I can extract this code and call it like create an entry point. Yeah, create entry point. How about this? Like this. So create entry point, and so entry point is a string. There you go. So what do we need here? Message file, workspace. So entry point and compiler workspace and entry point. Yeah, I don't think I need compiler workspace. This is actually in preload probably, yeah. And this is gonna be a workspace. Yeah, I need build file. And fully path file name is also string. And this is gonna be a workspace. So I think that's it. And now I can call it here. So create entry point here, and this is gonna be build file and workspace is test workspace. There you go. I actually don't know. Technically, I don't know if I need to do all of this. Like if I need to do a message file, really, maybe I can just do entry point. Oh wait, yes. Entry point, create yeah, so entry point is just a string with main, and this is technically not quite related to the entry point. This is just to add a file. Yeah, so maybe this is not the right way to split it, but kind of looks convenient to me. So let's look at this. So set import path. Okay, some weird sounds. Right, so what did we even do here? Wait, let me read through this. Options, workspace. So this just creates new workspace with options from parent workspace. Sets output path. Yeah, import output. As the build file, which is, yeah. Ah, I see. I wonder why. Why don't we do the same thing here? I know why, because we actually did it here before. Yeah, so when we add source, yeah, when we added source, we actually, yeah. This was copy paste from this part. Right, you set the file of the workspace and you add it to like the compiler. But where's the call to add? For some reason, I don't add source here. I only added at the very end. I wonder why I did this. So here I only create like setup build file, but then I actually only added there. There's like p.build file. Where are you? Yeah, there you go. So I only added here for some reason. What was the reason for it? Is it gonna work if I just move it up there? Add build string. Ah, maybe because wait. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is going on? Where is that add builds? There's a bunch of white spaces. Harder to find. So I guess it's just to adhere to the signature, right? So there is add build string as a code and as a message. By code and by message. And I can actually just add it as a file. I see. So if I want to add a build string, I want to get it attached to a file somehow. Provided code is a dummy. Add the scope. The build string goes into the main program's top level scope. In this version, which you would call from metaprogram, use message to indicate. You use a message to indicate the target scope. If it's a message file, we insert into that file scope. This message import, we insert the module scope of that import. If it's null, we insert into the module scope of your main program. Any other value argument is an error. So here message and here code. These are just to indicate the scope to which you add the build string. All right, that actually makes sense. But it also means that I don't really need it then. Right, because I can just pass it as null. Yeah, module scope of your main program. So let's see if it actually works if I don't create message file. So if I just do, null. And compile. What? But what do you not like? It doesn't let me insert. It doesn't let me insert null without auto casting it. Interesting. So can I do this? Yeah, okay, I can do this. Interesting. We need to cast nulls now. And projects pick fail tests. Bro, what? It just worked. Now it compiled. Because yeah, my compilation my compile commands are a little bit busted. They get affected by current working directory. So why won't it work? So I can do just the pointer to this. So I can I do this? Okay, it compiled. Nice. But seems like it. Oh, it runs. Yeah, look at this. It actually runs. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So I don't need all of this. So we don't need that. We just need message file to indicate like something. Good to know. Again, if it is null, yeah. Acquire to the docs, we can just set message file to null to insert this into the main of the workspace. Exactly what we need. Maybe it's more ergonomic to use code there. If not provided. So can I just do this? Can I just do this? Will it work also? Too many arguments. What do you mean? All right. Okay. Bro. Bro, what do you not like? What? Busted. I might need to pivot to Emacs stream tonight. Because this makes me... this makes me annoyed. This annoys me. Yeah, okay, we work. So this works. This is a nice create entry point helper. I can just, you know, yeah. Wait, but then I don't even need this then. Because I thought this is necessary. And I only need to add build file. Where is it here? Yeah, I only need to add build file if I create it in the same sort of executable, which I don't do. Yeah, kind of like this. Well, okay. So since this helper is just an one-liner now, it means that we probably just don't need it. We don't need it. We can just, you know, do it directly. It also means that I can just do it here directly, since I don't probably need all of this. So it means when I was doing it for the first time, I probably misunderstood the documentation. Hell yeah, look at this. It totally worked. This was just this was just kind of dead code that I didn't even need. How typical. So what else can we remove? I should add proper template, because look at this. This is fucking ugly. I wrote it yesterday and it's kind of hard for me to comprehend what the fuck is going on here. So this creates a kind of flow of execution that calls each test executable in a sub process with like exec_v. So by using run program from the process module, I should probably have it as a proper template and then parameterize it, because it only uses it name, you see. So let's maybe do this. So we have it actually here. And then how do I add it? Let me just copy this crap, paste it here, and then clean it up from all of the craft. So first of all, it iterates. So it needs names of all the tests as sort of it needs names of all of the tests included into the main executable. I guess we can inject that we can certainly inject that. We can also have it as a separate template, which will be easier to do. So this is test process template. And we need another one, test template. And here we just kind of strip this crap. We strip this. Wait, let me actually. So it's gonna be. Yeah, so here, semicolon. Then this. Then this. This. And this. Then we remove all of that. So blah, 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 run command. And we don't need that. Yeah, and we need this. So here we insert it by the name. Nice. So if output print, we don't need to escape anything anymore. We can just actually just use it. And this right, so this actually needs to do the percent escaping. So this like /%, it will insert a special ASCII character. Ditto here. So I think that's how we would do it. And then we insert result of this builder into here. And that should be easy clap. So for test data, we print to builder, test process template. Hey showboat, hello. Yeah, Visual Studio Code here. It's actually empty. I'm using it for debugging. Bye, hello. Test process template, and then eat that name. And then all of that, I guess, goes to hell. And then this builder contains the template. I don't need this, I don't need that. But I do need an entry point builder. Huh. Oh shit. Right, so when I'm done with this builder, with building this crap, where is, yeah, test call, yeah, this is different, this is a different thing. I need to go here, and entry point is gonna be not builder to string, but entry point is gonna be another builder. So entry point builder is gonna be builder, and then to builder pointer to this, and tests string is gonna be like that crop, and then print entry point builder test process template entry point test string. So that's what we do. We remove this, and then we add, wait, this is gonna be, yeah, entry point builder to string, just like that, I think. Works? Hell yeah, brother, it works. Let's see. This is a little bit fucked, but other than that, hey, looks good to me. Hello, Lars. Hello. All right, so I can whoa. Yeah, because it's already indented, so a percent needs to be here. Yeah, there you go. Nice. This is way cleaner because I don't have this spaghetti of individual string insertions. I just use two separate builders. One to create a calling code like that, and the other one to insert it into an entry point. I guess I need to name my builders better. So for example, instead of B, I can call it like main code builder. I guess. Because this is called B, and then we have entry point builder, you know what I mean? So yeah, let's change it. So in this, I guess here, yeah, B. How do we, is this how you this is how you do it, right? Yeah, this is how you like separate kind of by word boundary. And you replace it with tests builder. Yeah, look at this. I still remember some sort of, I know that technically you should probably be using multiple cursors for doing text replace like this, but I mean, come on, right? If you have arcane knowledge, you can just do things. Yeah, tests builder. Nice. 3 occurrences. Tests builder, and then we have entry point builder. Let me put it all the way here. And then here we feel the test builder. I can actually remove the scope here, technically, because I don't really need it anymore. But I'll let it stay. I like using scopes. I get test strings after the loop. Then I print to enter, so kind of like that. Right, we get a test string from the builder that we accumulated. We print it into the entry point builder, and then we get the entry point string, and then we add it to the compilation unit to our workspace. And that's it. This is how we create a test runner that runs each individual test as a piped sub-process. Nice. And then here we create a code for each individual test call. Right, yeah. We can actually we can just use build file from here. Yeah, So we don't even need to do that. So the way it works is that, yes, each test will have its own executable, but all of them are getting compiled from the same test file. So we don't split like file by code. We just kind of rely on Jai's dead code elimination to kick in. So I think what I need to do is I can just use p.build file here. And this one I don't even need. Right. I think I don't need this either. Where do you get default output path? I don't think I need it, to be honest. Yeah, look at that, still works. Yeah, just a bunch of useless code I don't need. It's because I did all of that here when I add source. And since here I'm just kind of copying the options, I can just remove a bunch of code. So now we get runner options. So main kind of build options for the test runner itself. Then we create a workspace to compile a new test executable. Then we do what? Get its build options and then copy them. Copy runner options into them so they have exactly... So it means that each individual test will compile with exactly the same level of optimization and input-output path, like import shenanigans, as the runner itself, with the one exception is that the test will have a different build file, which is the test file itself, the build file that we added. And it will also have its unique executable name, which gets extracted from the procedure header. And also, yeah, it has like this silly entry point. Not gonna bother extracting it into, you know, a string builder because it's a very clear one-liner. It's very clear what happens here in its main. Nice. And if you added strings, so you can see that each workspace has its own added strings. So this one is from the default metaprogram. It kind of just shows what plugins we call. We use plugin check and plugin epic fail, so the test runner. And then this is our main program that calls all the tests. So this is the test runner, as you can see. And this is the first test. So test 2 + 2 with like additional stuff on the context. This is like the second test. This is the third test. This is the fourth test, and so on and so forth. Right. So Jai kind of actually prints out the strings that we added there, so that when you step debug there with the compiler itself, with the debugger, you can actually see the code that you're running. So it's very, very convenient. So even though you're metaprogramming, you do all this magic, you can always see the end result and you can inspect it. That is incredibly convenient. That's why I'm like, I wrote very like clean email to add the same capability when you create code programmatically from AST code nodes. So the compiler just prints the strings. Yeah, so why did I do all of that? I wanted to compress the code a little bit before I add more ways to run tests. I want to revisit yesterday's experiment with fork, but without pipes. I'm giant! Hey Tay, hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm sitting like a shrimp. It's not very good for my back. You know, people, I'm in my 30s already. Not almost mid 30s too, so I need to kind of mind the posture. Maybe, you know, in like 5 more years, I will actually be forced to buy one of those Herman Miller chairs. Yeah. And also I'm getting fat again, so I've ordered the treadmill. You know, the one that you put under your standing desk so you can walk and program at the same time. This is the level of desperation I'm talking about. These are levels of desperation. Life is hard, okay. So I can extract this thing. Yeah, yeah, let's extract all of this and say, and just call it for what it is. Like compile each test as a separate executable. Right, and then, oh, flashbang. And then we just literally extract this, I guess. Yeah, like compile each test as separate executable. And now, thanks to, you know, this programming language being strongly typed, we can just run it and see, okay, tests workspace is not found. So what do we I guess parent workspace. What else do we need? You know what? Let's just do plugin. We had like a helper function that accepts a plugin somewhere. Ah, there you go. So maybe do I need anything else? Not enough arguments. Sure. So p it. So it's not it. We need like test data, which is test data, and it is gonna be test data. Oh shit. And also so we need to name path line column and test and call string. We need to add this. And test calls, just let's remove that. And let's go all the way back here. And then it, and then test calls. So no test calls anymore. So it's gonna be test data.call string. Here, so instead of adding a call to test calls, we're gonna add it here. Yeah, I think that's it. This is just some old code I'm keeping for reference. And look at this. We're chilling. It's working. I love strongly typed, compiled programming languages, man. They just let you refactor code so fucking easily. You just literally move code around and compiler just tells you what's wrong. This is insane magic. Like, I'm writing a fucking JavaScript at work, help. You can't do that. And even when you use TypeScript, this is not safe to do, because TypeScript, contrary to the common belief, it is not fully type safe. Because JavaScript can throw an exception, and exceptions are absolutely not covered by TypeScript, like type checker. And a lot of libraries, a lot of code, it uses exceptions for normal control flow. You know, for example, like a lot of code out there would throw exceptions when like third-party API returns 404 status instead of, you know, returning it as a status code. So it will create like an exception, like an error, and throw it, and you need to catch it and parse the status code. So, bro. And TypeScript can't do, TypeScript can't catch that, because TypeScript can't let you allocate, not allocate, sorry. Can't let you allocate, I'm saying allocate again. It's getting late, sorry people, I'm out of brain juice. It doesn't let you annotate when a procedure or function throws, unlike Java. You know, if you program in Java, the type signature of a function, of a method, I guess, it just, I don't remember syntax, but you do something like throws, like fuck you, like exception or something like that. And then Java makes you, you know, handle it or pass forward. Which is, if you're using language with exceptions, it is a very nice feature of a type system. But right, now we can create a runner with each individual test, which means we don't really need the scope anymore. Yeah, there you go. And if so we can, you know, pass a configuration option here and say, okay, if user wants to run tests like this, we can run tests like this. But now I want to experiment again with fork template, so with this code, where I don't call exec.ve. So I don't create individual executables, I just create child processes. And I wonder if I can make it work. So here, do you use test entry point string? I used it here. So we have test process template entry point, then test fork template, and test fork template entry point. And it's gonna be main, just like usual, and at the end it's gonna POSIX, import POSIX at the end. And here we're gonna paste the code. And we're gonna paste this code, and this code will couldn't fork. Not test name, but like this. I guess 1. Let's do 1. And then this is gonna be 2. And this is gonna be 1 again. And after we do this, we actually have to exit. With which status? terminated calling process. So I guess I need to do wait beat and get the status and then exit. Or something. I guess it's exit 0. Because otherwise it will just crash somewhere like here. I'm sorry, I'm deeply sorry. I accidentally closed Tmax because I wanted to do save file, but instead of W I pressed Q while holding Windows button. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Yeah, this is the wait. Let me minor distraction. I deeply apologize it. Now we are writing Lisp. Because I can't take this anymore. Wait, not here, here. So I have a custom compilation command, compile command. It is local for each individual file. What the fuck does it do? My project root or default dir or default dir. Huh. Wait a second, so let's call it here. Like here. Yeah, this is correct. It's called build or main. Fuck is current jai? Current jai is a declaration. Buffer file name. Yeah, it is assumed. It is fine. This is not an issue. This is all good because it creates correct compile command. But when I add the plugin can't be found because it searches inside like here. Module. So it has to search here in these modules, not in here. It means that like current working directory is busted. So I need to set it. And then file exist p, file exist t, current jai, blah blah blah. Yeah, so this is for current file. And we need to I need to add like a hook for compilation mode. Yeah, I need to set working directory correctly. The import command in jai first searches for directory with that name and then file with that name. No, it always searches directory. Or I actually don't know. You know what? I don't know. If there is a module with the same name for file and directory, I actually don't know what's gonna happen. I started asking your question, but mid-answer I realized that I haven't read it correctly. So I actually don't know what's gonna happen. If it's gonna complain that there are two modules with the same name, or if it's gonna just, you know, pick whatever first thing in the sorting order, I have no idea. So I think I need to set current working directory for current working directory for the compilation mode, which can I do it? I can do something like compilation mode. Is a compilation mode hook? Compilation mode. Yeah, there is compilation mode hook, I think, and set project mode with the something like so. Let me yeah, okay, and this function will be here, so it's gonna be like defun right, and do we have it set? Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking find it like this. So there's a PWD, right? So this is what it does. Interactive files.el show the current default directory. Oh, with the prefix argument insert the current default directory. What do you mean insert? Do you mean I just tell it? Insert default directory. What do you mean insert? What? The fuck does it do? Can I just do it? So can I just do it? Hey Lada, hello. Meta x pwd. Insert, like insert into the buffer. So you see, just inserted it. Oh, right. I just didn't know what the fuck insert does. Yeah. It's not what I need. Working. And how do I... So I just do kill new default directory. Okay, I need to I guess Google Emacs set working directory. Ooh. Oh shit, it's just literally CD. Alright, it's just literally CD, so... Yeah, CD. Make dir become the current buffer's default directory. Ha! So I guess what I do is, you know, maybe it's not gonna work actually. This is a very good question, tool. First, hello. Second, I don't. I just take the same file, tests.jai, with all dependencies resolved, and I use it as a compilation unit for each individual test. So I don't literally pull code. I just rely on Jai's dead code elimination. So it only compiles what I need for the test. Because so I insert the test call and then use the same file as a source. So yeah, cd and my project root or folder. I guess that's it. So maybe let's try it out. And like that. Oh, invalid function. What? The fuck are you talking about, bro? Oh, I accidentally nuked. Yeah. I accidentally nuked parentheses. There you go. So Jai mode, and now, hey, look at this. It works. Does it? Ah, fuck, it doesn't. I know, this has to happen here, so... In my language, I have similar system, except the testing flag just means test functions don't get ignored post-typing. Testing flag just means test functions don't get ignored post-typing. And the language's runtime main gets replaced with a test runner written in my language. In the compiler creates a big array of all tested metadata. I see. This did not work. I think this did not work because compilation mode hook is too late. Let's search in the internet. Emacs set current working directory for compile command. Changing compilation mode current directory automatically. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what I mean. So they mean when I so I have F7, which, bro, what the fuck are you doing? F7, please. Yeah. So I have recompile command, and before calling recompile, I can cd before I do that. Right, so I can have a lambda here that would do cd. Yeah, and recompile does what? Save some buffers, default directory command, then eval, yeah. Apply. Yeah, let me give it like 1 more minute before I give up. So I can fix it by setting it by doing setq instead of setq local. It would just set it globally for the project instead of trying to figure out per file. So if I'm here and if I do like cd and I like cd here, and then if I, oh, it still can do it. This is actually weird. Oh no, it worked. You can see it now. Yeah. Now that I recompiled it. So I need to basically cd into default directory before I run compile. Yeah, I guess recompile. So I can do like my recompile, and my recompile will be just like fun. My recompile is gonna do like cd first, and then it's gonna call recompile, and cd is to my project root or default dir, kind of like this, and then my recompile. And so if I do F7, calls my recompile, and then if I do my recompile, wrong type argument command p, what? oh. It's because it needs to be fucking interactive. Sorry. Little Emacs Lisp. Yeah, this is it needs to be interactive, like this. I'm pretty sure that's the issue. Yeah. Look at this. Lisp master. Now it's an Emacs stream. First, sorry for this, for probably a loud microphone noise. And second, why the fuck is my calendar bothering me at 11? Oh right, yeah. Yeah, it's telling me that I will travel in a while. Tomorrow. Was not loud. Okay. But yeah, sorry for Emacs, short Emacs programming session. I hope you did not enjoy it. Yeah, I'm very bad at writing Emacs Lisp. These days I'm only really doing it when I must, when something really annoys me. So I go like and just write some Lisp, but I'm not a big fan. Yeah, if it was some other, like, better Lisp, I would maybe be more happy. Let's maybe have some music that is. Do you want chill or upbeat? No, not this fucking 16 bits chiptune. It's too late for this. Yeah, let's do chill. I have landed on my favorite. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's low, I know. I don't want it to blast too hard. Right, so there we go, and I wanted to try a fork template that doesn't create executables. And also let me remove test underscore dot like this, so I don't spam executables here. I need to add a bunch of configurations so you can put tests into a subdirectory so you don't kind of spam that trap. But anyway, this is our template, and I apologize. How does Jai handle writing two values within compile time code? Do changes only persist if you do like value equals run, or can you get persistent side effects at compile time? There are legal ways to get persistent side effects, right? You were talking like add build string, like add data segment, stuff like that. To variables, yes, you can do run. So for example, in my other project, when I'm loading font files now, I think I dropped my executable to somebody, maybe it was tool, and this somebody forgot to copy data folder, like unpack data folder, and so everything was busted. It was you, yeah. So I decided, okay, user is unreliable. I am just gonna bake fonts into the executable, and yeah, there you go. I'm just creating a string constant where I run, and I read the entire file at compile time, and it gets baked into the executable. Yeah, so now you don't need to bother with data folder. Yeah. Yeah, entirely. So this is one way. Another way is there's a directive called no reset. So yeah, there you go. There's how to just let me just read it out loud. Imagine that whenever we compile a program, we just kept the values of all globals in whatever state the various runs left them. Then at runtime, when do useful stuff is called, it will see that useful stuff indeed equals true because it was set to true at compile time. So obviously it does not need to do anything, blah 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 blah, right? To avoid this, we reset all global variables to their default values when outputting an executable. This is an answer to your question, right? What happens? But maybe you don't want that. What if you want to actually compute the value of some variable at compile time? You could output that variable as a string and add it to the program that way, but that's inconvenient. And if you want to initialize a whole big table or a lot of tables, then it could involve an unknown amount of code just to generate that string, and generating and reparsing it going to be a little inefficient. So we have directive no reset. This is what I was talking about. You can put it before a declaration and say don't reset value stored in this declaration. So yeah, basically that's your answer. You just pass no reset in front of something, and if it's changed at compile time, it's not gonna get reset. You can also do this with arrays, and you can actually also do it with a hash tables with dynamic arrays. So you'll have to like do no reset and then inline run where you calculate all of the stuff. And the compiler will complain about pointers, not because pointers at compile time are not the same as at runtime, but it doesn't matter because the data gets like baked into the executable. Kind of. Yeah. So yeah. You can do stuff. You can just do stuff if you want. But by default, unless you literally have run in a declaration, compiler will just reset variables to their defaults. Uh, Wake up. Right, so let's create this. So test fork template. And it name, and this is gonna be a call. No. Here we go. So let's for now hide this. Wait, what the fuck? Why is it? What is wrong with the indentation, huh? That is weird. I know what's wrong with the indentation. When I turned on like when I like turned on the fundamental mode and then re-enter giant mode interactively, the way it works is at least was executing, and then I hit an error with the undefined function, and it happened mid setup, and since default Jai mode, it like for historical reasons it was made on top of the JavaScript mode. It first applied the default JavaScript indentation, which is 2 spaces, and then the error hit, and it never get reset to 4. So that's why we get stuck in this like weird ass, like half JavaScript, half Jai state with the two white spaces of an indentation. Anyway, so print to builder and test fork template and it.name and it.call string. I think that's what we do. And then we put entry point test fork, right? Yeah, and let's compile that. Oh wait. Okay, yeah. You see, it actually kind of works. Main p equals fork. Oh yeah, so I need to declare it. Kind of like p the s32. I guess like this. All right. And so no executables, and let me run tests. Okay, yeah, look at this. Now it doesn't run a bunch of times. Yeah, so that was the issue yesterday. So yesterday, I don't know if anyone like who were in the chat on the stream yesterday. I tried this fork approach, but it didn't work because as soon as my test like segfolded or for anything else happened, I would get duplicated output a bunch of times. And I like, what the fuck is going on, right? I don't understand. And the reason was because after you called the code in the sub process, you actually need to manually exit the sub process. Otherwise, the code will escape this branch and will keep running. The child code will just keep running. And so yeah, the child code will keep running, and the child code will on its own create forks of the test code. So like the parent code would call the child code would get into this branch, then this branch exits, and child code would like keep running, other forks. And so I would get into kind of chain reaction of forks That's why, you know, some tests would get repeated 3 times, some tests would only get repeated 1 time. It depending on how high in the call chain the test is. But this actually works. So the advantage of this situation is that compilation time is faster because I don't need to compile separate executables, right? I can just compile this and run it. And yeah, so and we get a segfault, but it is isolated. You see, so test subscript, kind of a couple of them runs. And then dot accessor tests, they also run. Even though tests with dot accessor, they are below the one that is like segfault. That should segfault, yeah. Parent of procedure. Oh, this supposed to be a... Yeah, this is supposed to be a string. So let's... this is supposed to be a string. This is supposed to be a string. Yeah, there you go. So it doesn't write me a pointer to procedures, right? But it actually... Yeah, parent of, yeah. Nice, nice. So we can do this as well. And seems like our segfaults get nicely, you know, nicely isolated, and we don't need pipes. So pipes, we still need to keep the way to run them as pipes, because you know what? You can technically extend this run command to have your master executable run on one computer and tests, for example, be run on some other computer, or, you know, like via SSH, or just like in the fucking Docker container. God like forbid me. God forgive me. And so you can, you know, do this pipe through like SSH and whatnot. Yeah. And you can have like a process pool or maybe a thread pool. And each like thread could pipe to its own command. But I like the setup. I think I'm gonna sort of run with fork for now. I know it's kind of POSIX only, but I don't care that much. And one additional advantage of this setup is that I don't need to serialize reports. I can actually directly return reports here. So, right, I'm calling the command here, and I could do something like test like report equals this. And then I can add like reports, test report, something like that. And then we can have reports is like test report. This could be like the template. It's not gonna work. Because the value void, yeah, because the tests actually don't return anything now, but we can make them. And as a matter of fact, should I? There is like a dilemma I had yesterday when I stopped. Tests, yeah. So I can have each test, you know, return like a test report. And test report is actually a real struct we have. It has test status, which is, you know, Felix, which is this. It has details, which is a string. So it's kind of detailed assertion breakdown. It has a user message, whatever you pass when you assert, and some test report info, which is, yeah, just an information about the name of the test, the path, and the location, like line column. And it actually it gets returned from every assert. So technically, it's not a test report. It is actually an assert report, which means that if your test asserts multiple times, each one of the asserts will generate a report. And then you know which of those test returns I know it's kind of like a good sort of um, good practice, if you wish, to if one of your test assertions fail, you just fail the test. But sometimes you want to keep going. Sometimes you test multiple like independent things under one procedure because you don't want to be like a zealous TDDer with like 4 functions with like arrange act assert per test. So each of your tests has like 3 fucking lines of code. You don't want to do that. So maybe what we need to do is we need to return. Maybe test report should be an amalgamation of assert reports. And what I mean by that maybe we should have like an assert like result. An assert result will have all of this. And it's gonna be like assert status. And then test status will be something like a test report could contain a list of all of the assertions. What do you think about it? Bum, 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 bum. And then actually, yeah, so it has an info. Details, user message, this is for assertion. Details is also for assertion. And then it's gonna be like assert, not info, but like a location right here. Just line, column, S32. Kind of like this. And then each assert will inject how do we structure that? So for now, assertion, each like assertion inserts a test report into the test. So the test can actually return it. Yeah. It actually probably means that I'm not gonna need that. Well, I will still need to do exist dance because we only need to. Yes. I think that's gonna be a good idea. So we have test status and assert result. So I guess assert can only have 2 results. So it's either like success or fail, right? And test report will have status, details, and assert results. And like array of assert. Doesn't make sense. Also, this does not get highlighted as a type, you see, so I fucked up syntax highlighting in Jai mode somewhere. Probably need to fix it. And so test, we're gonna return test report. It means we'll have to fucking... Do we want to encumber a user? So this kind of technically an implementation detail, right? So let's say a user just wants to write a fucking test and they have to write the signature even though they themselves don't return anything. And they have to write the signature because macro does weird shit. You know what I mean? I think that's a bad design. I think what should happen is that the test runner should actually insert like kind of a global of test reports, and then the macro should know that it exists, and kind of insert stuff into it. How about that? So it doesn't do this. It kind of should know, but how do we get it? So from where do we insert it? Ooh. Yikes. We can't just declare it globally in the main because Jai doesn't support closures, and so we can't like capture it like this. You know what I mean? I know what I can do. Sounds like super like over-engineered crap. Hey Stefan. Dobro večer, Ludovi, moi dragi. Ludovi? Do you like say that in Serbian, Ludovi? Not like Ludi or like Čoveče. Ludovi is just kind of a like a joking, like in a joking manner. Yeah, I see, yeah, makes sense. We also have, we also do something like that in Russian. Just say people, but in a funny way. I've noticed that a lot of Russians in Serbian, they kind of started using Serbian words while speaking Russian, like jokingly, because a lot of Serbian words just kind of sounds funny. As if, you know, you kind of say them ironically. What is this? Katyusha guitar cover. Guitar cover by a couple, like, clearly, like, Southern Slav-looking blokes. let's take a look at it. Sandboys. Yeah, I can see that some like southern like Southern Slavs. I mean, he's good. He's pretty good. I give him that. I'm not gonna listen the whole thing. It sounds, it looks kind of funny, but he clearly like puts in effort. I see, I see. Also, the way when he sings, I can barely hear accent, which I guess makes sense, right? Because when people sing, usually accent is not as hearable as when they just speak normally, which is probably true for literally every singer in the world, apart from like some super like turbo punks. I'm talking like fucking Sex Pistols or whatnot. When you clearly hear that these are some like blokes from London or from whatever they are. Um, but yeah, so how do we organize this? We need to collect structured reports, and I don't want to have the user be bothered with this report. So the way I think we can do that is that we can put it on the context, because each thread can only execute one test at a time, right? Does it make sense to you? So we can execute the test. Before we execute in the second test, we can take the test report from the context because it gets passed by pointer, and we could like put it on an array, and then this array will get consumed, could be like either reported straight away or get like accumulated and reported later, or get passed. So you can have sort of like a custom test reporter in the same way you have custom logger in Jai, which can make it way very powerful. You can have like HTML test reports, just like big boys do, where you can like click drop downs, it will show you like flow of the code and shit like that. So yeah, I think that's the way, and it means we don't need to maybe we don't need to inject report into the test code. We might still need to do it though, because of the way code injection works in the macro. Hey, Orenong Live. Is Jinja 2 a thing people know? It is a thing some people know, yeah. I know about Jinja 2. Yeah. Jinja 2, it is a HTML like templating. It's not really HTML, it's just templating macro for like Python. Initially for Python, but I know Rust has mini Jinja, which is basically Jinja 2 but for Rust. And yeah. Why do people know it? I mean, people use Python for web development, I guess. Actually, my t-shirt is not really yellow, it's kind of orange, but it's like pale orange. It looks... Fuck you, it's... Okay. Sorry. You can call it yellow. This is what happens when you get too high on Python. Don't do Python, guys. Yeah, I see. On camera it's kind of yellow, but in real time it has more of an orange tint. It's also like it's like 3 sizes bigger than me. And I'm kind of like a fat guy, but the t-shirt is for, like, the t-shirt is American sized. This is what I want to say. You know, I'm like European fat, and this t-shirt is for American fat. But it's very cozy. I like it. It's dirty, it's full of... You're wearing a smaller shirt than me. I don't know. It's like... It has a bunch of fucking my son's puke all over it. So... But it's fine. You barely wear U3XL. This one is... Oh yeah, this one EU2XL. Yeah, this one EU2XL. So yeah, maybe you're right. Are you one of these like 2.5 meters tall Serbs that I sometimes encounter? I mean, you're almost like me. I'm like 185. Ah, 130. Yeah. I see. I was 130 kilograms, 130 kilograms, not actually long ago. Like a year ago, I was also 130 kilograms. So yeah. But yeah, I'm a bit smaller now for sure. Ah, so you're like jacked. Yeah, so you're like 88. So this, yeah, I was 130 kilograms of fat, and you're like 130 kilograms of muscle. So yeah. I see. But yeah, it means that you're way fucking wider than me still, because muscles add a bunch of volume, probably even more volume than fat. So it makes sense if 3XL doesn't really fit you. Also, you know, this might be fake, like European 2XL, because I'm pretty sure this t-shirt is the one that my mom brought me from Russia, and they never get like European sizes right. Yeah. So maybe it is. I'm so sorry for getting aggery. Don't worry about it. You are allowed a couple crash outs per stream. Yeah, sure, fire it away. I don't know, we just have our own sizing. Yeah. We just have our own sizing. Wait, how do you spell it in Russian? In Russian, we spell it in Kirillitsa. Like this. Any reason to use Venv ever or not just Conda? I mean, don't use any of them. Dude, it's 2025. Use UV. Bro, since we're yapping, like, it's 2025. Use like this shit. It has a website, right? Yeah, like, use this shit. Yeah is like yeah. But we use double S, so you can see it's like double S. This is the correct spelling. The difference is that Russian language is fucking obtuse and very pretentious. So you know how Serbian has this nice property of piši kao je čiteš and čitaj kao je napisano da. Russian is not like that at all. Yeah, Russian is not like that. So in Serbian, what you read is what you see is what you get. Yeah. We did not have Vuk Karadžić, no. We had Alexander Sergeyevich Pushkin, which did a lot of good job on the language. He basically kind of introduced like somewhat modern Russian language. And then there were a couple more reforms that also did something to the language, but it did not go all the way to simplification. Yeah, I mean, we have alphabet and we have like phonetic rules. So phonetic rules is how you need to pronounce some certain words. So it's weird because how to explain it to a normal people? There is universal rules of spelling in Russian, and a lot of this crap just has rules. But then there are also phonetic rules that demand for you to pronounce a word a certain way, and we do have pronunciation rules because Soviet Union decided to kill all of the accents, all of the dialects, and because of that you have a guy from Moscow and a guy from like Far East, and we would speak exactly the same. Like in Serbia, I go to Subotica, I don't fucking understand people there. They have their own language. In Russia, it's not like that. You go north to south, you go west to east, you will the same language. People pronounce words same way. There are some minor dialects still in Russia, but yeah, it just the language is very homogeneous. But the way you use sh is, I don't know, it's actually pretty simple. If she is actually simple because when you hear sh, this is where you use it. It's the Serbian triangle where padeji disappear. Hey Nikush. Yeah. Shit. So I need to move to niche. Nice. In America, you can drive a few hours and notice a drastic dialect difference, let alone England. Yes, Russian is not like that. You can drive like 10,000 kilometers, people will speak the same way. They could use different words, right? So different regions in Russia, they do have different like vocabulary, but pronunciation of common words, it is mostly the same. So yeah, so I am very fascinated by dialects, and it's also a big issue when like movies gets translation, to Russian. How do you signify that a character is like from Scotland? You just cannot. This gets absolutely lost in the translation. Yeah, I understand what you mean, because America is also quite a big country. What's well, it's uh, uh. Like when you say you in Serbian, you say like t, right? Like t, and we say t. So your e in Serbian, it is exactly in between between e, so very soft like e, and u. So in Serbian you have like a middle ground e, and in Russian we have two extremes. Yeah. So the way you pronounce it is you just grab your teeth and beat yourself, like right below your chest, and you're like, "Ugh!" and this is how you pronounce it. Yeah, what's the difference? First one is yeah, so it's like yeah, and the second one is yo, so like yo. Yeah, yo. There is kind of a movement constantly for as long as I live to remove yo from written language. Stefan doesn't know about tvrde and mekki znak. I mean, no. I think these should probably come naturally because Serbian has similar stuff. Well, you say no, dots are kind of the modifier, as if we have dots above other letters. Um, because only yo has dots. Unless you meant to say those and not dots. Yeah, you. Yeah. So this one is So is another extreme. So you have e and u, which is extremes for your like e, and then Serbian has like ebre, and Russian has yeah, which is very soft, and also has which is very hard. And Serbian is in between. So yeah, it's like you. It's literally like English you, like you, or like New York, this one New York. mm, New York. Where would I don't know when we say like parachute, like parachute, but then it kind of sounds like ooh. So Yula, you know what's Yula? What Yula is? Um, this thing in Russian is called Yula, so the capital U. Yeah, this toy. I have no idea what it's called in English. Chirga. Let's see. Uh, it's just like spinner in English, or what is it called? Yeah. Dreidel? The fuck? I've never heard about this. I've never heard this word before. That's wild. But yeah, what other words that use you? There's a bunch of words. Uh, Viuga. So, uh, which is a very oh yeah, it even tells you jaka zimska pojava praćena snažnim prizemnim vetrom koji prenosi sneg koji pada ili je ranije pao. Yeah, so it's very like hardcore snow wind. Yeah, vijuga. Yes, exactly. In Russian, letters are contextual. They are pronounced differently depending on where they are in the word. That's why Russian is so hard and pretentious. With four sides, I see. Dreidel. Ah, I see. What the fuck? I can spin a dreidel in Google. What the fuck? What is this like? Jewish Illuminati Easter egg. That's pretty cool. Nice. You can just spin a dreidel in Google. Spinning top. So you don't have like a single word. Yeah, spinning top. This is Yula. Yeah. Then there's words like Yunga, which is a, yeah, it's kind of a young like sea apprentice and stuff like that. Russian can easily understand and read Serbian, but not the other way around. I would not say that. When Serbians, like when Serbs start speaking really fast, I that's it. I'm done. Uh, so I often, it's like, I come to Serbian person, I ask a question, and maybe my accent gets better, and they start answering like really fast without any regard. And I'm like, oh no, no, oh, molimo ponoviti polako. Please repeat slower. I'm a little beach immigrant. Snurbas in Norwegian. Cute form for a penis. Nice. The only Norwegian word I know is hestkuk. That's the only Norwegian word I know. Because I watched that cartoon Metalocalypse, and there was an episode about Norwegian black metal, and there was a band called Hestkuk. So it just kind of stuck with me. Oh, there was another word I know, like something like Schluten or something like that. Yeah, I know what it means. It means horse's dick. How you got to learn Padaji? Yeah, I mean, I know them. I can't say that I can use them efficiently, right? And since they don't map one to one to Russian, I guess in English it would be cases, like grammatical cases. It's sometimes hard, especially considering that some of the words that are gendered, you know how both Serbian and Russian gendered languages, and so we would have a word that is female in Russian, but it is male in Serbian, and it's like, and you have to switch. Biggest give out for non-native. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so even though I know, so the concept of cases is very intuitive to me because Russian has them too. They work in Russian quite a bit differently. So, for example, we don't have locative, right? So when you call someone in Russian, you just like use their name. You just use the like regular main case, for example. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't even try to learn them, to be honest. Anyway, the way I learn Serbian is I don't even learn it. I just vibe learn it. I get into situationship and then I learn Serbian through getting out of those situationships, which is probably not super efficient. Just like learning the language as a kid. Eventually, you get native, like you get fluent, but it would take you longer to get there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I would say just Stefan, and in Serbian you would say Stefane. So my name is Valentin, and in Russian you would just call me like that. But in Serbian they would say like Valentine, like Ivane, like Gospodine. Yeah, 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 yeah. Kind of like this. Kind of like that. Um, I'm sort of getting tired. I should probably go to bed, especially since we got a W today. We added proper like fork support, and now we have two different ways of running tests. Yeah. I also recently learned that Niko is not a common Serbian name. You know how GTA 4 main character was called Niko Belic? And then there's like literally nobody calls Serbian kids like this. Yeah. There is a yeah, Nicola, yeah. There is a video on YouTube which is called How Rockstar Butchered Serbian in GTA 4. That was a pretty cool. That was pretty cool video. And there was a lot of bloopers because it was really weird how they approached Serbian in yeah, like Roman, yeah. And they had all American voice actors speaking Serbian. Yeah, Roman is very common name in Russia though. We call it Raman, but still it is a very common name in Russia. So I think the writers they just bungled a bunch of like Serbian and Russian together, and yeah, it's like because GTA 4 also has a lot of Russian in it. There's like Radio Vladivostok FM with Russian music, and some of the characters they speak Russian actually without accent. So in the game where the main character is Serb, they hired native Russian actors, but they did not hire a Serbian actor. Every second German is called Klaus. And then every first one is called like Mikhail or something. Yeah, I also heard that from other Serbians that they had to basically play with subtitles to make sure they understand what the fuck is he saying. Uh, yeah, I'm kind of tired. I don't know if I should really start working on this, on doing reportings, on collecting reports because I'll probably fuck this up, even if I push it. I could maybe give it a go just to like see the flow. So for example, let me let me try. Do you have Slav names in Russian? Oh yeah, of course. Vyacheslav, Svetoslav, Yaroslav, Stanislav, Vsislav. What else? Mstislav. Uh, there are a few also. These are the common ones, like 6 common ones. Dragon or Ognen. Nah, I just have like survivorship bias because I met like 3 different Ognens. I guess one of them from Montenegro, so it doesn't count, right? Right. What do I do here? So yeah, let me focus for a second. I insert report builder in the color namespace, and also I insert report in the color namespace. Then I set the info from the context. Right. Yeah, bye bye, Lars. Thanks for stopping by. Then we set user message on the report. then we actually insert the code into the caller, so into the macro we insert it. So since we insert the code into the macro, we also have to insert report into the macro, right? Because this code that we insert, it will actually use a report. So here you go. It will print to the report. Uh, and what else? Yeah, and that's why we have to insert it, and it has to like have a very weird name too because of this. Hmm. There won't be any name conflicts, I don't think so. Uh, but what I think is gonna happen, or not really happen, I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put this report on the context, honestly. What do you think? So, and since I am putting this on the context, I need to actually allocate it. Yo, I think that's a great idea. So each thread can only run uh, one test at a time. Makes sense? Makes sense to me. And we have like context is thread local effectively. It doesn't use thread local storage, but it is thread local. We can put this report on a context, and then we won't have to inject it into a caller namespace, and our generated code, so the code that we insert, it can just use it on the context, like here, for example. We would still need to inject a string builder, but we can use report directly on the context. What is metaprogramming? Um, so let me finish my thought and then I will explain it to you. Right. And then after the test is done, so in the test runner, we will just fetch that test result. Yeah, we will just fetch the test result from the context and put it into like array or something. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. What we can also do is instead of adding an individual report to the context, we can have an array of reports and push onto an array. Um, and then somebody else can like collect those. Kind of as a custom logger that they did. And this also looks like multiple producer single consumer flow that I've made for my other program. Man, so it means I can extract the, kind of ring buffer queue and I can reuse it for my test runner. That's pretty cool. And it means that if I open source this module, I am gonna vendor lock every one of my user to use my modules. Haha. What are we talking about in the chat? About strong Serbian names. Radimir. Yeah. Another very common Serbian name is Nemanja. And I actually didn't know how to pronounce it correctly, like Nemanja, before I moved in here. And so I always thought, like my entire life, I thought that the way you pronounce Nemanja is Nimanja. And you know why? Because there's a very famous Serbian football player Nemanja Vidic, which is probably, if you combine, if you get all of the, so he's like a center back. If you get all of the center backs that ever like touched the ball, he would probably be like in top three, like for sure. So he's like one of the best like center backs in the history of football. Maybe like the best, depending on who you ask. But yeah, and Russian commentators, they would always call him Nemanja Vidic. And this is how I thought you just pronounced the name, especially because Russian commentators are like super like trying to be correct and stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and when I moved to Serbia, my cultural shock was like, what? This is not how you say it correctly. Which I guess makes sense because foreigner commentators, they never get like Russian names correctly, right? So you have like Andrei Arshavin, you have like Yuri Jerkov. Yeah, we say Mir, yeah. So peace. Yeah, Mir. Mir is both as in peace and as in world in Russian. No, we don't say rat. So we do have this word rat, but it's kind of like archaic. It's usually used like in the context of like Warcraft. Like we say ратный дел master, which is like a master of like Warcraft. So you could hear this ратный, right? So we do use the word rat, but as an adjective or something like that. But for the word war itself, we would use война. So spelled like this. How do you say somewhat common English is world peace? Um, so we don't have this exact yeah, exact, Stefan. We don't have this exact word. So this exact phrase like world peace. Um, we have uh, we have miru mir. This is the very common phrase, and it's actually it got used into like anti-war sentiment to the point where it's like kind of soft banned. Like if you come to the street with like miru mir sign, you will get arrested probably in Russia right now. And so this is what we say. Yeah, miru mir. Yeah. So it's kind of a wordplay, right? It is a wordplay because we use word mir for both world and for peace. So it's like world peace, exactly. So to the world we give peace, peace to the world. That's kind of it. Yeah, it is kind of a wordplay, miru mir. Yeah. This is what we use. We would say like vojna oprema. Yeah, so yeah, we wouldn't say ratna oprema. No, we just say uh, like военная экипировка. So we would use военная like an adjective. Yeah, we don't say ratna. Like you can say like ratная экипировка. We say экипировка. So oprema or equipment экипировка. So I guess it's some like weird ass French word or something like that. We would use военная, but if you say ратна or ратная, you would get экипировка. You would get understood. People would understand you, but it sounds a bit archaic. Like you're like, I know, role playing or something. Now I know who will monitor the stream for sure. Yeah, Stefan is just a like KGB agent who like LARPs as a Serbian dude, as a jacked Serbian dude. Gru, yeah, 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 yeah. Gru, damn. It's very funny. Um, So yeah, I really like languages. That's why I keep getting distracted. American spy living in Serbia meant to spy on Russians, but why? Um, Let me get. I know that I really like languages and stuff like this, so I am very excited to yap about languages. I can do it all day. And since I'm already like tired and I'm already, kind of, I checked the to-do box. I feel that I'm kind of done here. That's why I keep yapping instead of keeping programming. Uh, Maybe we need to like watch some video. I meant to rewatch data-oriented design video from Mike Acton, but it's like an hour and a half. Ukrainian speaking Russian is kind of slower, like Serbian spoke Russian. I mean, it depends, right? There are Eastern Ukrainians, there are Western Ukrainians, and there is a difference for sure. Um I mean, there is difference, but it also depends on how much like a certain Ukrainian interacted with Russian. You could have like people from Kiev who speak Russian in a way that you can't tell apart from somebody from Moscow, and there are people who speak Russian with like Ukrainian accent where you can instantly clock them that they're from Ukraine. It really depends on the person, man. Like there are certain like traits of the way some Ukrainians speak in Russian where you can, aha, like, yeah, yeah, you're from Ukraine for sure. But it's not like something you can tell in 100% of cases. Yeah, Medjuslavonic. Yeah, yeah, I know about this. Like inter-Slavic. Yeah, I know about it. It's crazy. It works like a fucking magic. I it's a artificial language designed by some linguistic like PhDs that is designed so that all Slavs of the world can understand it. And it's a fucking black magic. Yeah, I hear this inter-Slavic, and so I heard inter-Slavic spoken by Russian, by Polish, by Bulgarian, uh, and there was like some Westerner, like I think some like Dutch guy spoken inter-Slavic, and you like understand everything. You just understand everything like without any like buts. Just unconditionally understand like every word in a sentence, no matter who speaks it. So it's not like Balkan, it's like Eastern Europe Esperanto. It's so weird. Yeah, yeah, it's insane. So yeah, yeah. I mean, because all Slavic languages they have some, I guess, common roots, right? Like common, I guess, core words that everybody understand. In some languages they are still used, and in some languages they are kind of archaic, but they are known. And I think the Inter-Slavic just built on this basis. Yeah, and so it tries to utilize those words that are like common ancestors of other words. And then if you maybe lose like a word or two, usually in the context it just all blends together and makes sense. I guess so, yeah. But it's like a real language, you can express pretty much anything there. And there's rather like big inter-Slavic community, and it's insane. Yeah, yeah. When people speak inter-Slavic, you just, yeah, 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 dude. Yeah, and you don't, that's the thing, you don't need to learn it. It's designed for you to just, I mean, you need to learn it if you want to speak it, obviously. But if you just, if you're from any Slavic country, if you're native to any Slavic language, and if you listen to it, it just comes natural. You just understand it. Yeah. It sounds a bit funny, but it just works. That's fucking insane. And a lot of people, I guess, use it as a life hack. Like you just learn Interslavic and you can come to any country. Of course, you don't speak like like Slovakian or Czech, but you can speak Interslavic to just get by. It's super useful, yes. I think it definitely makes sense to learn it. When I will get better at Serbian, I can probably do some Interslavic things. Can you say a sentence? I cannot. I never learned it. Like I can't say anything in Interslavic, but if you just paste like some Interslavic or like send me a video of Interslavic, I can just listen to it and understand. This is how fucking weird it is. Let me switch to like just chatting category or something because now I feel bad because I'm just yapping instead of programming. Let me just chatting and post programming clarity. Yeah. Okay, now I feel better. So what did you? So this is an example of using Interslavic language. Uh, yeah. It's harder to read than to listen for sure, but I do understand it. So it is really so I don't know what's Velmi is. It's like Velma, like very, right? It is, yeah. Yeah, podobno I know, but Velmi is like Velma, so very. Yeah, it is very similar like other languages, and it is very cool. Yeah. So I understand everything. Reading it, it's a bit harder, but if you squint at it, it makes sense. Yeah, so this is an example of Inter-Slavic languages. It is very like other languages, and it's very cool. Yeah. This is insane. Yeah. Whoever came up with it, and I think whoever came up with it, they are not even Slavs. They're some like Dutch dudes who are like PhDs in linguistic or something. They're like, what the fuck? Oh. Uh, what do we have? Um, yeah, this is also one of those like international signed language is also the cool one to learn. Honestly, I think should probably so the languages everyone should learn is English, like sign language, probably Interslavic just because it's so useful, and then like Chinese. And then if you know these languages, you're just you're like good for life. Iskreno ne može ti ne biti cool kako samo možeš pročitati tekst i razumjeti ga, bez da si morao išta učiti. Aha. Yeah, I understand it. I mean, so I understand everything, right? So truly, you can't not be cool if you can read it and understand it. And if you can't, then you have a lot to learn. So this is what you wrote. And I can read. No, wait, did I fuck it up? Or did I fuck it up? Are you trolling me? Let me. Honestly, you can't say it isn't cool. Ah, it isn't cool. No, you say T, not to. Are you fucking with me? I thought you meant like ne możesz ty. But did you like did you typoed it, or is it like grammatically correct what you wrote? So T? I thought T is always like you. So that's what fucked me up. I see. So you can compress it. So you can use T like tabby. I see, I see. I see. Yeah, that makes sense now. Yeah, so I like read T and I thought it's literally like you. So and I thought that maybe you typoed like możesz. Maybe you wanted to type like, And then I kind of mixed it up. Yeah. So you can see that I have a lot to learn still because I haven't parsed it correctly. But yeah. uh, you know what? I turned myself into like just chatting category, and now I actually want to write code. But I'm probably like not gonna. Uh, yeah. So I really I can't decide if I should, uh, add the individual report of the test on the context, or like create an array and push to an array. So I still haven't like I don't know what's better, to be honest. It's better in the sense that for the runner itself, if you just push on an array, you don't have to care about collecting the results after each individual test, right? So you don't need to like call a test and then collect result, then call a test, collect result, call a test, collect result. You don't need to do this, which is very convenient. Um, on the other hand, and if you forget to collect, you like you lose the report. But if you have an array, it is like easy for you to push to an array from a thread. But then you need to join arrays, right? So you need to do like an additional kind of join operation where you iterate over each array and combine it into array to then process it. So it's like, what do you do? It's like hard. I mean, in these cases where you don't really know what is better to do, you should probably just do whatever. As in, for example, okay, I don't know what's better, so you just need to try both, right? So for example, in my module, context, where is it? Yeah, when I do call, like here, this epic fail should contain here. So test report info. Oh wait, what? Name path log. Yeah, so on this info, I should also have like a report. that you need to assign, kind of like this, right? And you test, in test you get like this gets injected into the test, and then test puts back a report. Right, so where is it? So here, instead of doing if not exists, so now I guess that should be a pointer probably. So we can allocate it. Like allocate it, and then somebody has to free it. Right? So like a pointer to test report. And probably like here. Yeah. So probably something like that. And then here, if report doesn't exist, so we do context epic fail test report, or is it yeah, I shouldn't really, yeah, it's just report. I shouldn't really write code because I just introduced a variable and I instantly forgot what I called it. Right, so context report equals new and best report if not exists. So I just do this. This is what I need to do, and then actually, I will just use it. So we'll just do this. Do that. And this is not gonna be user message. So user message is going on the assertion. So this is gonna fail to compile, right? Because now user message is in the assert itself. Where is it? Yeah, user message is gonna be on assert result. And I will obviously need to create assert result, which we need to like just array push here, and then use it like as a pointer. But yeah, is struct layout predictable by default in Jai, or does do field It does not do field reordering, no. Jai can insert padding, but it won't reorder your fields. Hey, what? So this means that the declaration is in an outer scope. So you can insert the declaration into outer scope, or you can read the identifier from an outer scope, because this assert is a macro, it is not a function. And in Jai, macros are homogenic. So you just can't access shit from the outside by default, right? You must backtick identifiers that you want to make kind of dirty. Yeah. Unrelated, but it confuses me how context passing works with custom context. How does each function know what context type to cast it to, so you have wrapped your own context around the context base? Yes, there is a type. It is like special. It's called context as a directive, and homo macros. And there is also base context, and your context is wrapping around base context, and it like embeds base context into it. And then when you use add context, at compile time, it gets to the type info of your context. So by the time all of your functions compile, they already know the type info of the final context, right? And so they know exactly what type it is, what it has and what it hasn't. There is like a situation you might get into when you call into DLLs, right? Because DLLs can have their own context, and upon calling into DLL, you need to remap your context. And there is a special user space module that's called remap context, which iterates over fields and just literally remaps those fields like a pointer by pointer. Context type is known for every function. Yes, exactly. What if you call the same function with context A and context B in different spots? Does it monomorphize for the various context types? No. You can't have different context types. Like, you can't even create a context that's of a different type, right? You know what I mean? So you don't just push a context for this function. You can push context, but it will have the same type. It will have the same fields as your other contexts. It will have different values attached to the fields, but it's still the same exact type. Yeah. So if you go to, I don't think we have, yeah, you don't have context, but you do have context base in runtime support. This is how context base looks. And then your context will just embed have those fields at the start. And the very first one is the type info of this context. So when you call DLLs, DLL can know what the fuck is it getting, right? Yeah. And so when you create a new context, you can use this, right? New context is type context, and you can assign stuff, and then you can push it. And then all of the other functions that accept context will have this new context pushed, but it will have exactly the same type. Yeah, external Jai code thing with custom context is not entirely solved issue. Well, it is kind of solved, but it has certain food guns that they are addressing actually right now. There was recently a big thread in Jai Secret Beta Discord where John kind of went over the plans that he has for remap context. He like proposed 2 different solutions and people argued a bit, and John kind of landed on the on the approach he will take. And so we'll see what it will be. I guess it will be in the next maybe upcoming beta or maybe in the next couple betas. There's also this thing, bro. First add context. So you see how it works. So the context base gets added to the context also through add context, but it happens like the very first thing. Yeah. And so this thing is then, yeah. So it's not used anywhere else. So it just happens. It just gets added by the compiler magically. One of the few things that compiler does. And doesn't let you like kind of hook into. Yeah. So you add context, and the base context also gets kind of dog fooded through this. Yeah. I mean, this is code, which means that this gets evaluated as a code. And this code, it just gets inserted into, excuse me. Yeah, this code just gets inserted into your first workspace. And compiler like picks it up. Yeah. So that's actually pretty cool. Also, we have like a handmade hero Easter egg that across all supported operating system by Jai compiler, we have like Krampus first, because Windows cannot be first. Is there any good video on Jai proprietary build tool? Wait, what do you mean build tool? Not sure what you mean. Built-in tool that you can build your program with. I mean, it's not even a tool. It's just the file in the same programming language that compiler executes at compile time. That's it. It's not anything like special. So I mean, let me show to you. I'm actually using one myself. So I created a metaprogram plugin. Well, I guess this is too advanced. Yeah, this is too advanced. It will take forever for me to explain. So let me switch to a different project, and I guess we can go back to software and game development, because I guess we caught a second wind. Let's do like programming MAA. Because now it's programming MAA. So find file, build, yeah, there you go. So it is just a file in Java programming language. Regular file, it is a regular call, the regular code that calls regular functions. And at the end, you just run this function at compile time. So you feed this file to the compiler. So you literally type jai build.jai, press enter, and your code gets compiled, right? And compiler goes here, it says, okay, function build needs to get run at compile time, let's run it. And it runs the code. It uses procedures from the compiler module, creates workspace, get build option for workspace, set executable name, set a bunch of parameters for arithmetic overflow, that code elimination, set optimizations, get compile time arguments, process like these arguments, set release if it's release, and then set build options after I accumulated all of them. If it's Windows, then I like disable console. It's build options during compile, right? And here I just pass additional linker arguments. Then I begin intercept compiler loop. I add my build file, which is main.jai. So Jai will like, okay, I will add this file to our workspace. Workspace is kind of like, just an isolated environment in which compiler does stuff. Then I add some manual strings to identify if it's a debug build or not. Then I do some metaprogramming magic where I remap a couple imports. Then I'm done with magic. And if Windows, I add icon to the file. This is it. And compiler just executes this code and produces an executable. Need a CMake list to build a ninja build. Yeah. So yeah, you don't need make files, you just need code in the same programming language. Right? Of course, unless your build file itself needs to compile, for example, some C++ dependencies, then you also need like C++ compiler, because you will be calling that from here. But you can see that it's not like a shell script, it's just code in the same language. That's it. Hey Connor, hello, based context, yes. So yeah, does it make sense to you? Yeah, you only need one binary. You only need, well, two binaries. You need the Jai compiler and you need linker, because Jai uses linkers to link the code. But Jai also ships with linkers. So in Jai distribution, right, it has binary folder and it ships with LLD. And also on Windows, you can opt into using link.exe from CL. Jai doesn't ship link.exe because it's installed on Windows. If you have Visual Studio like SDK, right? Yeah. And then there is like, yeah, README and there's something about how you need to, something about like where you need to like install. Yeah, this one, README released. Yeah, if you don't have Visual Studio installed, run this and you get like SDK. And you need SDK to have to have link.exe, yeah. And also I think there are some like dev things that Jai relies upon. I don't remember what exactly it relies upon. Yeah, necessary libraries and link.exe and Visual Studio. So there was like, yeah, find Visual Studio in ridiculously garbage way. We have this procedure, and this is needed because you need linker path. Yes. And you need this VC path so you can build C++ libraries when you want to link against them. So Jai has a module that shipped that lets you just build C and C++. So you can build C code at compile time by using this code, and then you can link against. Well, I think the compiler itself needs Visual Studio SDK to work, but I I'm not sure if that's the case. Maybe it needs, maybe it isn't. Maybe it doesn't need. My Discord so I can inspect further. Sure. But yeah, this is we get like a lot of goodies shipped with the compiler. Right. For example, there is module executable formats, and it's just code to parse ELF and PE files. So if you write your own debugger, you kind of just you get like set on a good path. Yeah. Telemetry bindings. This is if you're like rich and you can afford a telemetry profiler. But yeah, I'm kind of cooked. I actually don't know how much telemetry costs. I have no idea actually. Yeah. Genuinely no idea. Yeah, I will probably excuse me. I could rewrite this off stream so the report info gets passed on the context. And today we actually got a W. We got proper like sub process fork workflow working where I don't need to actually generate executable. I probably like the setup more than running through pipes, and I will experiment with collecting reports, and it's probably gonna be awesome. Yeah, so this will fail to compile actually if I call it. It's not gonna fail because I need to add metaprogram plugin, and now yeah. So you can see user message doesn't exist because I deleted it. And then I need to delete what? Oh, right, I need to get it from the context because it's not like this. But yeah, this is just following compile errors. It's pretty fucking boring. Well, this particular part. I might stream more of this test runner after I get to actual implementation for the assertion macro. So for example, I started working on a certain binary dot to, for example, see if the right part is null, and so I don't let you dereference it. What if there is a procedure call on the left that can crash? Actually, actually, I can delete it because I solved this to do. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Yay. Epic. Yeah. So, I'm not gonna stream tomorrow because I'm gonna touch grass from out of city. And also on Saturday, I might be streaming more of my program, like the keyboard program, Hitboxer, on Sunday. Maybe. If I'm not too tired after the travel. It's not a long travel, but it's like an hour or so. So we'll see. If the morale improves, we might stream a little bit on Sunday. But yeah, definitely not tomorrow and not on Saturday. So is there anything we can do before I fuck off? Is there anything interesting for us maybe to watch, to read, to learn? Uh, Today is a very chill Friday. It wasn't Friday, it was Thursday, but it is Friday now. Anyway, yeah. I'll probably done for today. Let me quickly check software and game dev category. What do we have? There's Spherophoria, but it doesn't really need, like more people. Actually, Sphero is right. He's kind of trying to do it like full time, so maybe even a low amount of viewers can help. So let's just do this. Yeah, let's rate Spherophoria. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. If you're on the YouTube, feel free to hop on the Twitch chat for the rate, and yeah, I'll see you on Sunday, I guess, maybe, or maybe next week. But yeah, bye everyone. Have a good night. See you.